I've been reflecting a lot recently on what I ultimately bring to the table in terms of anything in my life, whether it be a conversation, a friendship I just made, a romantic relationship, whatever it may be. You ultimately have to think at some point what you're bringing to the table. Because if you think about conversation, there's always going to be a recipient and there's going to be someone who's giving out that information. Whatever you're talking about, whatever info you're sharing, there's got to be a two-way street. There's always something you're getting and something you're giving out. And when you really think about it, it's always important to think about both what the other person's saying, what you're going to say, take it as it goes, but thinking about the value and what you bring to the table in every single situation is really important. Lately, I've been trying to take some time where I really get together with some of my friends and have really good conversations, because I've found that conversations where you have no time limit and the silence doesn't really feel awkward, you just get time to think and you can spout and just yap about whatever you want to talk about. And usually there's questions to be asked. Like for me recently, I've been getting asked what God did for me over the summer, ways I've been seeing God in my life. And it's really been beautiful to just sit down and kind of just dissect my mind and let people listen to what I'm saying and also give their own feedback. I was talking to this one guy recently. He's in one of the clubs in my college. It's kind of my college's equivalent to a fraternity. And yeah, we were just talking and he related, he's such a smart guy. So I'm a big Christian and he related Jesus to quantum mechanics. And it's a whole spiel about Jesus is both equally a loving father and a friend, and he's also equally an authoritative, holy, and reverend figure. And that really relates to quantum mechanics, where light itself is both a particle and a wave. And you can't have a particle and a wave. It has to be one of the two. And the whole world, there's nothing that can be both a particle and a wave. But light is. It makes no logical sense, but it works. And Jesus is the same way. And I really heard that. It made me think of so much my friend brings to the table. His name was Brandon. And Brandon just brings so much to the table about both speaking his mind and letting you dissect what he's saying. And you can learn so much from the wisdom you put out. And he put out so much wisdom. He's a smart guy, cool guy, great guy. And I was really thinking, he's in a relationship and he's bringing so much to the table. He's going into a great field. He wants to be a doctor. He's so smart, reads a lot of books. And it really made me think within myself. I don't want to be too selfish and say, oh, I want the prettiest girl ever and I want her to be this way, and this way. But what am I doing? Oh, I'm just sitting there making money. I'm not funny. I'm not charismatic. I'm just kind of there. Yeah, I'm the guy in the relationship. But I've realized that that's not always, it shouldn't be the case in any situation. So it's always important to reflect on yourself and see what you're bringing to the table. Ultimately, when someone tells me something great and I'm just around great people consistently, I just have friends always pouring into me, I consistently have things to think about, things I can use to build me up and make me a better person. And it's truly amazing. And sometimes I realize that I take in way too much than I put out. And in the past, it used to be the opposite. I would put out more than I took in. And that can lead to depression or things like that. But sometimes it can also be the same when you don't give out enough. You see, when you're around people and you're kind of there and you don't really give value to their lives and they don't see the value you're adding to their life, people tend to not think you're that important to them. People think that you're not really going to be a lasting relationship and not going to be something you think about. But the thing is, I want every person I've ever met, the people in my college right now, my teammates, the people I talk to on a day-to-day basis, I want them to remember me. I don't know about you, but I want people to remember me at their wedding. I want to get invited to so many weddings and just be someone that someone can remember. And maybe not a sense of popularity and it's like selfishness where I think I should be there because I'm popular and I'm important. It's not that. I just want to give out enough value to where someone can take something from the way I'm living, the way I'm speaking, and just can take something from me on their journey. Because when you really think about it, your friendships, usually they're pretty temporary. When you don't see them as a lasting thing. But what I want to do is make my friendships last a long time. And if they do end, I want to have a lasting impact on someone else. See, when I was in Colorado, I worked these jobs, and I worked these jobs a lot where I just kind of worked the job for a little over a month, and then I ultimately have to go back to school or anything like that. Life changes happen, and I fall into this trap often of thinking that because I don't have a lot of time with these people, what I do doesn't matter. They're going to forget about me, and it's not going to matter what I do. If I do something bad, they're going to forget it. If I do something good, they're going to forget it. But I kind of want to make that different. I want to think that if I do something great, they'll remember that. If I do something good, sure, they won't remember it. But if I do something great, they'll remember that. I really noticed that some of the people I worked with really kind of just went about their days, doing their normal everyday activities. They didn't talk to too many people, and they kind of just didn't really smile much. They just kind of kept to themselves. But I tried my best to just be an energetic person, be an optimistic person, be someone they can look to and maybe open up to, maybe think about when, things get hard or anything. I just want to be I want to be a person that someone can think about, way down the line, 5 years later, 10 years later, whatever it may be. I understand that, I'll remember things. When I really think about it, the compliments people give me, I think about them for a very long time. I think about some compliments I've gotten in elementary school, and that is crazy. I'm 20 years old, and I'm thinking of comments I got, or compliments I got before I was even 10, and that's really crazy to think about. Because our words hold so much weight, and we can bring so much to the table in someone else's life simply by being a great person, being someone that they respect. You can be a representation for something you believe or something you're really passionate about. For me, that's Christianity. I try my best to represent Jesus and show the love of Jesus no matter where I am and what I'm doing. And I feel like that people really can see that sometimes. And when I'm not acting my best, or when I'm not being the best person I can be, I'm not being a good representation of Jesus. But when I'm out there just showing love, showing respect, showing the fact that I'm cheerful, friendly, optimistic, I can really make a difference in someone else's life. Because think about it. If you're working your job and, every day is boring, but this person comes in and they're just so energetic, they're like a light. Maybe they're annoying at first, but they rub off on you. You start smiling a bit more. You start appreciating your days, and the things they tell you really start to stick. Even if that person is only there for a week, you're going to remember them. And I want to be that for someone else. I want to bring so much to the table that they can just remember me no matter how much time has passed, no matter if it's 20, 50, how many years down the line. I want them to remember me. And I think that goes for any relationship, conversation, friendship, anything. Think about what you're bringing to the table. Reflect on yourself and see what you're doing to help someone else out. Because with all of these videos, I try my best to add value. My banner on YouTube says adding value one video at a time, and I try my best to do that. Sometimes I have to sit here and think about these videos, and I have to really reflect on what I'm saying and make sure it's not just something I want and something I'm venting to you guys. I want to say something that can truly help you right there. I want to help you so much. And I think that every video I post, every word I say, every action that I do can help someone else other than myself. Because the world, the life you live, doesn't have to be selfish. Everybody in society, they say oftentimes you'll hear that, everybody's out for themselves, do this for yourself. But you can really, even in passing, you can aid to someone else's life. When you understand that you could be a beacon of light to someone, you can change someone's life simply by living your best life, being positive, bringing so much to the table that it makes their life so much better. And I've had people like that for me. I've had people that I've known for a couple days, and I remember them every single day of my life simply because they lived their life to the fullest. They brought so much to the table when it came to a simple interaction and a very short friendship. But that friendship really impacted my life, and it's shown me that I can be that for someone else as well. So I know people will tell you all the time, focus on what you can get from others. When you're trying to find a partner, make sure they're tall, make sure they're handsome or beautiful, make sure they're this, and this. And it doesn't really tell you to reflect on yourself. Even if you're the most beautiful and wealthy person ever, you always can get better, and you can bring more to the table, because there's someone out there who maybe doesn't have as much as you, maybe don't look as good as you in the face or whatever it may be, and they're still bringing way more to the table because they have a great personality, they want the best for someone, they're always bringing value. Think about what you can bring to the table in anything, because ultimately, everything, every relationship, every conversation, every friendship, so many things, there's two different sections. There's you and what you're putting out, and it's them and what they're putting out, and it needs to be an equal thing. Heck, even you can make it a 60-40, 70-30, 80-20% out of 100, because you're just giving that. You're giving so much, and you're aiding to their life. That's how you make people remember you. That's how you make people want to stay around you. That's how you make people want you to be in their lives for as long as they possibly can. Like, if I keep doing that, I'll get invited to weddings. Like I said, people will remember me. I'll have better friendships. I've started to reflect on myself and see that I can build myself so much. I can bring more to the table. I'm never at a point where I can settle, because I can always get smarter. I can learn more. I can challenge people. Lately, I've been trying to listen people vent to me and let them talk, but I don't just sit there and kind of say, oh, well, I'll pray for you, or oh, I'll just sit there and take in the information, don't do anything. I try my best to challenge someone to hopefully get better at their problem that they're having. I had one friend I was talking to, and he was sharing some problems he has when talking to other people, and he said that he really struggles sometimes being passionate about something when someone else isn't listening. And, you know, that's definitely relatable. Like, for instance, if it was a one-on-one conversation, I'm talking to you for 12, 13 minutes, and you weren't listening the whole time, I may stop talking, or I may get less passionate. But I challenged him. I said, is it the fact that you're sharing less passion, does that make you want to talk to them less? He says, yes, because I wish they were listening better. And I gave him the scenario. I said, if there was 5 people and 4 people just were not listening to you, and you were spilling your heart out, you were putting your soul into what you're saying, but one person, they're sitting there, they're listening intently, and they're really interested by what you're saying. I said, is that worth it? Are you willing to ignore those 4 other people and ignore the fact that they're not listening to you and focus on giving your best self and presenting the best information you can? Bring as much as you can to the table, even though 5 people are at the table and only one person is eating what you're bringing to the table, if it's food. I like that analogy. And he said, if it's one person and I could change their life, it's worth it. And I looked at him and smiled, and I said, hopefully you can think about that next time you struggle to give your best self and put passion into your words. So please, see what you can bring to the table. Challenge people. Always try to build your mind, get wiser, speak more greatness into other people's lives. Be a representation for what you believe, whether it's Jesus, if you're a Christian, whether it's what you're passionate about. Understand that there's people who are going to live their lives and be so bored and wishing that something could come into their lives and just make it change. Be a breath of fresh air. You can be that for someone else. I can be that for you with these videos just like this one. So always think, what am I bringing to the table? Before I enter this conversation, before I start this romantic relationship, before I have a friendship with this person, what am I bringing to the table? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself, what am I bringing to the table? Because ultimately, you want to always at least try to give out more than you're taking in. Try to aid to someone else's life. Try to give them value and make them think about you so much and make them always cherish that relationship or interaction with you. You can change someone's life by adding so much value and bringing so much to the table of any interaction. So always build on yourself, better yourself, see what you can do or say or whatever it may be. See what you can do to benefit that other person's life. What you bring to the table matters. So always bring more and more to the table every interaction you have. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Always remember that you can bring more to the table, and always think about what you're bringing to the table before you get yourself into an interaction. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day.